All right. Well, we're, as usual, letting people into the event here. So I think we'll just get started. We have a jam-packed session today. I'll kick it off. My name is Jamie Sunsbach. I'm the Executive Director of the Collider Foundation here in Rochester. And I'm so happy to see all these great people coming into the room and for this amazing workshop today. So just a few words about Collider. So here at Collider, we activate, connect, and empower Rochester's entrepreneurs with a singular focus on early stage companies. Basically, those people that have ideas for companies, all the way to companies that probably just took off recently, or maybe are a couple years into their business. That's really our sweet spot and where we can assist entrepreneurs. So if you want to, sorry, I think my internet dropped there for a second. Internet in this place is crazy. So we want to see entrepreneurship as a viable career path for all of our citizens with zero barriers to start a business. If you have the passion and drive to start a business, you should have zero barriers to help you accomplish that. That's really the vision of what we want to accomplish here at Collider. So if you want to learn more about us, please check us out at collider.mn. We are also honored today to have this workshop sponsored by the SBDC. It's our intention here at Collider to work more collaboratively with the SBDC in the coming weeks and months. And together, I think we'll make a great team to support local entrepreneurship. So I'm going to hand the virtual mic over to Mark Thine from the SBDC. Take it away, Mark.
Well, thank you very much, Jamie, and proud to be a co-sponsor of this event today. Just quickly, the Small Business Development Center is funded by the federal government and the state government, and we provide one-on-one consulting services on a confidential basis at no cost. So you can find us at rochestersbdc.com, and you can check out the services that we offer in regards to business plan development, financial analysis, data analytics, and so on and so forth. So happy to be able to continue to partner with you, Jamie, partner with you and the Collider, and hopefully on future events too. So thank you, appreciate it.
And now we want to have Chris Loving, one of our ecosystem navigators, talk for a moment about his role.
Good afternoon, everybody. Glad to be here with you for a moment or two. I'm Christopher Loving, and I'm an ecosystem navigator with Collider. And we further the mission and vision of Collider by being more boots on the ground, being more one-on-one with aspiring entrepreneurs. I'm one of a team of 3. I serve the Black entrepreneur community. So I'm just basically there to be a listening ear, to make connections for them, whether virtually or in person. I'm there to provide resources and really just be a help kind of from A to Z with their questions, issues, or ideas. And so I'm very excited to be in this role. I've helped quite a few people and hoping to help many more. And my colleagues are Julio Molina and Sarah Louise Henry, who serve the Hispanic community and the female community respectively. So thank you all, and thanks for joining today.
Awesome, thanks, Christopher. And now we'll hand it over to my colleague, Amanda Leitner, who will take us through the event. And then we're done with handoffs, I promise.
Yeah. All right. Thanks all of you for being here today and spending a little bit of your afternoon with us. We are recording this session as well, which you probably are aware of, and be sharing it to all of you as well as through our YouTube channel, so you'll be able to listen in again. So I think just some housekeeping things. We would appreciate if you kept yourself on mute, and please start typing in your questions in the chat, and Dina will talk for a little bit and then we'll get to those at the end. So we're really honored today to have Dina Abu Shiesha with us this afternoon to share her expertise with marketing with all of you. She's the owner and business development director of Curve Marketing and Creative Design Agency, and she's helped many businesses, big and small, reach their potential customers and communicate the value they bring to them through marketing. She's been in the Rochester community here for 7 years now, going on her 8th year, and she believes that the best marketing strategy is showing people that you care. And her goal is to be the best mother, best wife, and best business owner she possibly can be. So I think we're all in for a great treat today, learning from Dina and her expertise. So yeah, with that, I'll turn it over to you, Dina.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Collider, and thank you, SBDC, for organizing this. And a little bit about me, I'm a mom, as you seen in the intro, and I'm a business owner of Curve Marketing Agency. And the reason why I do what I do is I was always so fascinated by people's behavior and what makes people do what they do, and persuasion, the art of persuasion, and connecting it to marketing. So I chose my area of study in the University of Iowa to be in communication studies and business management. And from it, I worked in a healthcare software industry for more than 5 years as a marketing specialist, where I traveled all over everywhere in the world to market this American software internationally to hospitals internationally. So afterwards, I wanted to pursue my passion, which is helping businesses helping businesses reach their goals through marketing and really know their target audience. So I really, what I do is I help people reach their potential customers and communicate the value they bring to them through marketing. So I started Curve, and what Curve does is we provide tailored solutions to businesses in marketing, advertising, brand building. So clients really come to us when they wanna, for example, Dina, we want to reach increase our sales, or our competitor is killing it on social media. We want social media management, or website needs help, or things like that. And we provide tailored solutions that work for each business, and each business has their own unique goals that they want to achieve. So some of the clients that we helped are those ones we helped so much more internationally and locally here in Rochester, and I couldn't put them all in one slide, so this is some of them here. And so what's the plan for today? I've been thinking about this, and I was like, you know what, I want to provide value. I want you to get out of this seminar having action plans on what to do with your marketing plan. So first, I'll talk about fundamentals that you need to know to move on to the next step of your action plans, what to do, the strategies. So first, I'll talk about fundamentals, and second, I'll jump into the tactics, actionable plans that work in your area here in Rochester. So what is marketing? And I'll try to put like the chat so I can see it, but I want you to think about what is the first word that you think about when you think the word marketing. I'm trying to see the chat here. Sales, social media, customers. Good. Creating value for customers. Yes, yes. So, building demand. Yes, those are all good ones. So a lot of people think that marketing just equals sales or just equals advertising. But marketing happens way before the sales process and advertising process. It's a small part of marketing. And I'll give you an example. It's if you're starting a restaurant, for example, before you even rent the place or buy the place, you research the competition, you research the market, you do a market analysis, you research who will most probably buy from your specific cuisine and what are the pricing. So many things that gets done here, and this is part of the marketing before you even open your doors. So a really simple definition that I use with my clients is marketing is communicating value to your clients, which one of you guys said it right. And the textbook definition that I really like is marketing is the process of getting people interested in your company's product or service. This happens through market research, analysis, and understanding your ideal customers' interests. Marketing pertains to all aspects of a business, including product development, distribution methods, and advertising. So some people, like some businesses, they do wing it and hope for the best. Let's start a business without a marketing plan. And, usually they struggle within their business journey because they didn't have a plan in mind or a goal in mind that is set. And a lot of them come to me here, I'm struggling and I'm stuck in this area. How can I move on to creating the results that I want? So don't wing it, create a marketing plan. And these are fundamentals that I will talk to you about that you need to know in order to create that plan. So the old marketing was all about pushy sales, promotions, discounts, offers, all those fun stuff that we all know. And now in the modern world, it's all about how do I engage, interact with my clients so they can trust me and buy from me. It's all about connection. Now with social media and all like the internet, it's all about connecting with your clients. So to be able to connect with your clients, you need to know who your target audience is. And if there is anything I want you to get out of this seminar is the importance of knowing who your target audience is. So next slide. Yeah, who is your target audience? Your target audience are probably the people that are most likely will buy from you, your primary target audience, and they share common characteristics, demographics, behaviors. And you know those things through asking them, researching, like who are people who really love your product or service, and you would really see that there is commonalities. So I have an example of a counselor that I was working with. And the first things that I asked my clients are what makes you unique from your competition? What makes you stand out? And another thing is, who is your target audience? She struggled a bit to define it. It was a bit generic answer. It's more like everyone that needs my service. But after we dig deep and researched her current clients, we found out that most of the people that she was shining with, she was helping really, were people that had traumatic experiences in the past, which connects to her having a traumatic experience, and she was able to help them. So from knowing this part, this knowledge, we really changed the branding, the message, the advertising, how we are targeting the clients. And from that, she really, really became successful in her marketing efforts, really being specific on who she's serving and what appeals to that target audience. So don't be afraid to bring in your identity to your business. For me as Curve, I think our unique identity is first that we tailor solutions. We don't go to someone and we say, oh, we provide website design, oh, we provide social media. It's not a checklist. We sit down and we hear about the problem or the pain points, and we create solutions that would work for that problem and create results. That's one thing. Another thing that makes us unique and unique identity is our diversity as a team. We've been all over the world. We've seen marketing internationally, and we have local knowledge. So this is something that I'm proud of, and I show it when I'm marketing myself. So our Curve. So let's talk about features, more talk about promise. This is one thing I put in front of me whenever I am working on a project or a campaign for a client or anything like that. Talk more about promise, talk less about features. And a good example of that is iPhone. When you see the commercials of iPhone, they do not talk about how many gigabytes, how many megabytes, the pixels and all those things. They talk about the memories you create when you take pictures with the iPhone, with the high quality camera of the iPhone. And that triggers emotions, happiness, family, things, all of the things that, you know, that promise, that triggers the emotions for people to actually buy. So they knew who their target audience is, they knew what will appeal to them, and they showed the visuals, the commercial that really triggers them to take action and buy. So the promise, I talk about the promise. The promise is your promise to your customers, and I will talk more about it. To your customers, if they buy from you, that's the promise you give them, and I will talk more about it. But take a minute and think about who your target audience is for your business. Is it a family, a busy family? They have a dog, they have little kids, they don't have time to spend on anything. They're really busy with chores and work and all those things. So their trigger is what? It's time. And you know that equals family, memories, like things. So you really, the more you know them, we sometimes go crazy, like specific, like her name is Susan. She is 26 years old. And she works in an 8-to-5 job, and like we really get into the specifics, so we know how to appeal to Susan. So is it a professional millennial woman that is on her phone 70% of the time? When you know that piece of information, you know where she hangs out. She hangs out here on her phone, so you know where to get her. So is it a retired person, an empty nester that loves to play golf, and his way of getting information is from the newspaper or the paper, or not even on the screen? Once you know that piece of information, you know where they hang out, and you know where to advertise to that target audience and demographics. So another thing, a really big piece of marketing is understanding branding and what's branding. Branding, I love that definition. It's a person's gut feeling about your products or service. It's actually not just, I'll go back to that slide. It's not just logo design. It's not just social media. It's not just website. It's more of your reputation, what people feel when they think about your business, and everything affects your brand. So for example, the way you deal with people on social media affects your brand. The way your employees deal with people in your store affects your brand. Everything, even the news, all of those things affect your brand. So hate them or love them, those are strong brands that are out there. And those brands those so those brands, whenever you look at them, you feel something, and that's branding. For example, Amazon, hate it over love it. Amazon, I like the way Amazon designed their logo because it speaks to their promise, which is convenience, moving forward, fast shipping. That's why people buy from them. 2 days and it gets shipped to you. And also a smiley face, which is customer satisfaction. That's a genius branding. But some people might think this is really convenient. I can get my gift that I need to get in 2 days, but others might think this is the worst thing that happened to small business. And that's all based on your education level, the news, everything, you know. So one person can look at a brand differently than the other person. So it really depends on how you show up. So you want to show up in front of people. That's your work. You need to work on showing up, showing your promise, positivity, and all that through your brand, and establish that strong image online and offline. So Rescued Room, that's one of the brands that we worked with. It's a company here based in Rochester, and they provide organizing solutions for women. And we understand the target audience. They simplify lives for busy professional women. We understood that the target audience, how they live their lives, the common behaviors, what they are looking for, and we designed a visual identity that shows stress-free, minimalistic life. We showed greenery, and it needed to have inviting colors that, you know, that shows order and simplicity. And we came up with a slogan that says home and life simplified. Bam, that's your slogan, that's your promise to your customers. So so now is where, you know, take out your pen and paper. These are where the action steps are. And if you have a limited budget, I promise, like, it's not a click of a button where, okay, I want to do branding, I want to do marketing. Here, it's really, it requires work. You need to work on it. You have a limited budget, then you have to invest. If you're a busy business owner and you're working 8 to 5 or even more hours during the day, then, you know, invest the time in your weekend to work on your marketing plan. So going to the marketing channels, there are so many market channels. I will talk about the important ones, and ways you can market yourself here in Rochester. So networking, website is part of your marketing channels, social media, online advertising, offline advertising, and SEO. First, I will talk about networking. Networking is very important in Rochester. It's a small city. Everybody knows everybody. And you will not believe, like 80% of my clients that come to me, it's a client that knew someone that needed a service, or somebody that knew the service I provide. So they referred them to me. So it's all connected. People are all connected. And I would say the Chambers of Commerce is one of the places. The first event I joined, an AM Espresso, I gained one of my biggest clients here in Rochester. So really shaking hands, but it all depends on your target audience. If it's small businesses or businesses that are starting, and you are, for example, an insurance agent, and you're looking for people that to insure them for their business, or you're a legal advisor, or it depends. You really need to know where your target audience is, so you know what are the networking places I need to go. So AM Espresso, business after hours, BNI is a big one. It's a referral network where people refer each other to the services to each other. Virtual Women Roundtable. If you have your target audience are professional women, then I would highly recommend going to Virtual Women Roundtable. It's connected with the Chambers of Commerce. I was sitting at the woman event at the round table, and the lady next to me, she was like, do you know of someone that can help us to attract traffic to our city? I need help with that. I was like, you know what? I can do that. So it's amazing how these networking events work. So SBDC is one of the things, actually, I would totally recommend meeting and really getting information from them. Rochester area builders, if you are, for example, you sell light fixtures or things that are complementary to that industry, go and become a member in those things and shake hands and be intentional on what you're trying to get out of those events. And also, like, you're not selling, you're actually building relationships with these people. So collect as much business cards, follow up, and really meet with these people. This really works in a small city like Rochester. And also there's so many other small business groups. These are the ones that I can think of, but there are so many others that you can join and get help from. Complementary businesses. So be creative of how you can network with people. If you are a flower shop, for example, and you have a massage place next to you as a neighbor, stop by, say hi, get your business cards, tell them, is it okay if I can put my business card here? The worst that can happen, they will say no. I've heard so many no's in the beginning of my career. It didn't offend me anymore. It used to offend me in the past, but the worst thing that can happen, they will say no. You will go to the next one that will love your service, and they will be happy to show it and to put it on their desk. So be proactive on those things. Also, like, if your target audience, it all goes back to the target audience and promise. See, it all's connecting. If you are, for example, targeting women that are professionals or women, you can go to Rochester Women Magazine, for example, and be like, oh, can I write an article there? They're looking for content creators. I would love to write an article. Or be creative on how you can reach those people, that target audience, and see where they read, where they hang out, all those places, and you can provide value in that area. So email marketing in another cheap way to market your business. Make sure if you have a website that you're asking people for their email addresses, so you can send them, for example, newsletters, an event that's happening, or updates about your offers, your services. Add value to them. It's not about buy from me. It's about adding value. So another thing that I notice, a big mistake that businesses do, and I see it more than I would like to see it, is some businesses don't have a business listing. Google My Business. It's so easy. You can learn it. You can just go to YouTube and write, how do I Google My Business listing, and you can find it. It's where you will be found. If you add it, you will be found in this map here, and you will have your information there. People can leave reviews for you. They can see your website. You will be visible. If you don't have Google My Business, you're not going to be visible in this area, and it's very important. You have to have an address, a mailing address, to be able to have a business listing. So I would say join a place like Collider, for example. It's a minimum amount for a month for membership, and you can use their address, and that's your office. It's a shared space where you actually connect with other entrepreneurs. So try to don't say, oh, I don't have a mailing address, I'm not gonna do that. Try to be proactive and be creative on how to do that, and how to have a listing. I believe you have to have a mailing address for that. Another thing I ask my clients to do is, I have a template, and I tell them, please, all your happy clients, take this template and send it as an email to all of them to write a review on Google. Your customers are smarter than ever now, and they're comparing your reviews on Google to the reviews of other businesses. And some people, when they see like, oh wow, 50 positive reviews, oh, only 5 reviews, I'm not sure, I would go with the higher amount of review, the business that has a higher, that happens, that has a higher review, they will go to that business, your competition. So make sure and make sure they're, of course, like honest, they put their honest reviews about your service on Google, on the Google listing. So those are things that you can do after this seminar. You don't have to pay money for, and it's like easy, simple to do. So website, very important. Like when I give an example, if you don't have a website, it's as if like you're going to a big event with important people that you want to meet and you don't have a business card. So your website, 88% of online consumers are less likely to return to your website if they have a bad experience in your website. It needs to leave a good impression. And a lot of businesses also do a mistake of putting so much information. They're so passionate about what they do. They put so much information on their website. The customer, the visitor becomes lost, and they lose them to another one that has a simple website that goes to the point where, you know, here are the services. I can click on that. I can click on that in homepage to contact someone if I want to contact someone from the business. Just simple, like really understanding the user experience and what the user, the target audience is thinking, what they want to see when they go to your website is very important, and simplicity is key in your website. And be consistent with your brand. That's another mistake. Like your branding looks different, your fonts look different. You have a different logo on your website, but in your social media, it's a totally different website, totally different logo, or the colors are different. So it's really confusing, and the information is different in each one. It needs to have the same messages at the same time, so it's all doesn't affect your brand. So I would say, if you are investing, you have a limited budget, invest on a website and invest on your branding. If you have very limited budget and you don't have money for it, there is places like Wix.com or places like that. I don't recommend it because a lot of the people that come to us, they're like, okay, we built a website with Wix, and I don't know how to add this. I don't know. It's not flexible. I want to add more things, but it's really giving me trouble. So really make sure that that you're putting the money where you really need it. And I would say the biggest thing to invest is your website. Your brand is on top of anything else. You gotta look good first before showing up in front of your target audience. That's one thing. If you have weak branding or branding that is really confusing, and then you start creating ads on social media or putting ads on your own magazines, you're actually like affecting your brand and affecting your image. So that's a big thing that I would say. It needs to have a call to action. The website needs to have a call to action button where people can click on your website and can go and contact you, or can go, you know, what they need, and you have just one click of a button, they can go to where they need to go. So that's about the website. Social media, I'm sure you know now, after the pandemic and all what's been happening, social media is very important. People even look at social media for news. So it's like people are watching, and 80% now, like this is a recent study, 80% of US population uses social media. And it's not, if you have a page, it's not about buy from me every day, buy from me. It's about relationship building. It's about adding value. How do I add value? How do I provide information to people so they can trust me, and eventually when they need my service, they can buy from me? So people like to feel that they are dealing with humans, not businesses. And that once they feel like they're getting something from you, you're helping them, that loyalty and trust, you create that loyalty and trust and credibility with them, and more opportunities to convert, because out of sight, out of mind. And there is a good example of a milkshake that my client posted. We wanted to do a test. We put a milkshake at 11 a.m. on a hot day and watched from 11 to 2 the sales of milkshakes rising. Of course, they're getting a meal with their milkshake. So that's the power of social media. Out of sight, out of mind. Some clients tell me, oh, what's best? Can I just be on Instagram? Can I just be on Facebook? Or can I be on just YouTube? It depends on your target audience. It all goes back to who your target audience is, which I talked about previously. If you are, for example, their younger populations, they might be hanging out on Instagram. Older generations, Facebook. So really it depends, but pick two and really be intentional and put your 100%, because some people, they focus on all of them. Oh, I have a channel here, I have this, I have that, I have this, and not put like their 100% on one. So I would say investing time. Social media management takes time. It's a full-time job. Like we have in our team a social media expert, an SEO expert, an expert for advertising, so an expert in each field. So content creating takes time. I would say this is something that in the weekend, like, let me create this monthly plan and really be intentional about what your goals are, who your target audience is, what your promise is, what are the messages that you want to send to those clients of yours. So those are things to think about when you're planning your marketing. I would say like 2 hours a day for social media, engaging with your clients. It for us it's more, but I'm thinking about a busy business owner that doesn't have the time. I would say like put in the time for it, and you will see it will pay off. If you put in the time, investing the time, you have a limited budget, invest the time. Online advertising. So online advertising and social media advertising, Google advertising are all different from social media management. Online advertising and social media advertising is reaching out to the people that you're not reaching organically. You're not reaching on your followers, and really you're bringing more visibility to the whole, to all your target audience, targeting and segmenting them with zip codes. If you want them to be people that work at Mayo Clinic, you can do that. If you want them to be people that are interested in sports, you can do that. You really segment them and show them your promise. The biggest thing, because this is where I see people wasting a lot of money on, I would say if you're doing it yourself, not a marketing advertising expert doing it for you, start small. Don't start with $20 a day. Start and test. Put different visuals of your promise. Visuals as in like, oh, if it's food, your promise is like the food, the satisfaction, the happiness, all of those things we talked about. And show it in different tests, different visuals, and see which one gets more traction and gets more traffic, and pick the one that gets more traction and add more to your budget on that one that works. I hope that really helps. I can speak a whole hour about online advertising, so I'm trying to kind of consolidate it in one. So make sure you start small so you don't lose a lot of money. And once one of those ads works for you, use the ad, put more $20 more, and you will see it's analytics. You see the traffic, you see the results in the business page. You see it, you see who's clicking, how many people leads are clicking on your ad, and all those things. So that's what the beauty of online advertising. But spend efficiently. That's an example of an ad. So just to know how it looks like, it's an ad showing the promise, just a visual of the promise. Get creative with showing that promise, because there's so many ads out there. So one thing, finding information on the internet. A lot of us find information on the internet on a Google search, and that takes me to search engine optimization. I would say that's one thing out of some things that you have to hire someone for, because it's really involved and needs an expert. But if you're interested in marketing, you can learn it. You can learn anything. One thing I would tell you, and I tell my team, you can learn anything. If somebody can do it, then you can do it. You can learn it and you can do it yourself. But if you don't have the time, for example, my mom owns a bakery. She tells me, you know what, Dina, just do your thing, your marketing thing. I want to sit in my kitchen and bake. I don't want to deal with all of those marketing things. So, but if you're interested and you want to learn it, you can. So for example, you're searching for a service. A lot of us go to Google search and write down the service that we want. And how many of you will go to the second page? I don't think a lot of you go to the second page. The first page of the search results is where people click to go to the service they want. Not a lot of us go to the second page. So that's SEO to you. The better SEO, the more you're gonna be in the first page of the search results. SEO really works when you have a good a website, and 97% of consumers search for local businesses on the internet. So that works if you have a website, and search results matters, guys, and also reviews matters. So another thing, actually, that's the end of the slide. So one last thing I would say as an advice, prioritize on what to invest your money on. If you have a limited budget, be like, okay, I need to invest on my branding. Branding is like my image, is how I look in front of customers. Or I want to invest on my website. Just be intentional, thinking about your promise, your target audience. What is it that you want to invest in? Because you don't want to, I see it happening. Some business will be like, okay, let me put some money on radio ads, and some money on magazine ads, and some money on this, and it's like all over the place without really intentional like a plan or a strategy on what you really want to achieve out of it. So that's another advice. So we talked about branding, we defined it. We talked about marketing, defined it, your target audience, and the importance of knowing your target audience, your promise, triggering emotions, those emotions. If you are, for example, an insurance agent, you want to trigger emotions of financial security, and then that goes back to happiness. If you are, for example, a skincare expert, beauty, that goes back to happiness. If you are a travel agent, memories, families, friends, that goes back to happiness. What is that promise that you can trigger emotions of your clients, and show it in those visuals, and show it on those ads and commercials, and really convince people and persuade people to buy from you? So another thing we talked about is your customers are now smarter than ever. You have competition online, but the good thing is it's Rochester. It's a small market. If you are, for example, in California or New York, your SEO, it actually takes more work to work on your SEO, because there's so many websites, people that provide the same service. you're in Rochester, so it's easier to work on those things. But they're smarter than ever. They're comparing the reviews. They're seeing how many reviews you have, how many reviews the other business has. So this is another thing to think about. And the last thing is, it's about engagement, interaction, and relationship building, even before the customer buys from you. It's about establishing that loyalty. And thank you, everybody. I hope that was helpful. And that's the time for questions and answers. If you have any questions from me, thank you for your time.
So, well, thank you so much, Dina. I have pages and pages of notes that I took, and I love, you know, talking about things like, you know, Google reviews and asking people to do that and making processes for yourself to make it easier. So we have some questions that popped up in the chat, and everyone please continue to type them in there. But there was one question from Mark, and he asked, you know, what advice do you give people about figuring out where their target audience hangs out and how do you reach them? So what do you tell people who come to you with those questions?
Yeah. Okay, so I would say the best way is to ask your clients. Ask your clients, even like in your page, you know, how do you get your information? This is how you know, this is how you analyze where they hang out. So for example, when I talked about the professionals, the women professionals that are on their screen all the time, you really understand them when you're interacting and communicating with them online, on social media. They're coming to your store owner, you're asking them those questions. What's the other question?
I think you answered that one. So the other one, I was thinking about this too, you know, as small business owners, you know, you have a full-time job, addition to running your business and life requirements. So, you know, when people come to you and they're building their business on the side and have extremely limited time, let's say 1 or 2 things off your list, what should they focus on? And then I think too, another part of that is, when is it time to hire somebody like you to come in and do some of this for them? So what should people be looking at?
Okay, so going back to the first one, I would think the first thing that you need to invest on is your brand. That's the biggest thing, because that's how you show up in front of people. And your branding first, if you don't have a website, it's your website. You need to invest on your website. Can you explain to me the second part of the question? Can you say it again? Because I got lost in this one.
I might have interpreted it a little bit too, but I think so. When someone's really busy,
yes.
What are like the top 1 or 2 things that you would recommend that they focus on?
Okay. It depends on the business. I would like, you know, it's hard to not to have the context, but I would say focus on you know, your image, like I said, your brand image, which is having consistent messaging throughout online and offline marketing. Also focus on having an easy, user-friendly website. Focus on 2 things, I would say. Also, like social media. It's 3 things. Social media is big. Choose one outlet. Doesn't have to be all the outlets. There are softwares out there that you can post. It allows you to post in both things. Don't invest money or put money on those softwares. You can actually post in Instagram separately, on Facebook. And as you grow and you're making enough money, I would say invest on an expert if you don't have the time for it, because you want to post more of your time on things that you know you love doing and you know how to do best. But I would say for now, branding, website, and also like your social media presence. So it's 3 things.
And we're definitely a smaller
And
group.
another thing I would like to add, it depends on, I want to make sure I provide value. It depends on the in the business and the target audience on the business. So I'm not sure what the business is, but those are the things that most of the clients, I tell them those are important.
Yeah, so I think we're a smaller group. So if anyone has very specific questions about their business for Dina, please feel free to unmute yourself. That's probably easier than putting it in the chat.
Hi, Dina. Mark from the Small Business Development Center here.
Yes.
You know, in the Small Business Development Center, we get clients, entrepreneurs, startups, and existing businesses coming to us. And I love working with entrepreneurs who really have their target audience already set. You know, they
Yes.
know it's going to be men age 18 to 25,
Yes.
and you know, and that's exciting. And then we try to figure out, like you said, where they hang out by asking them. But the challenge that I have, because I don't have a marketing background, and this is when I should call you, is like when that entrepreneur has that service or product that anybody in the community could use, right? That isn't necessarily focused, like, you know, skincare kind of focused on women, right? Lawnmowers kind of focused on men. I'm stereotyping, and I shouldn't, but you know what I mean? So like, you know, for example, it might be like a grocery store that's open to everybody and anybody, and they serve food, right?
Yes. There has to be an target audience, because there's something called the primary target audience, that the bigger group of people that most probably will go to that grocery store. There is primary, there's secondary, there's third. So you have to like break it down to understand. Even the grocery store, they have flyers. What type of visuals to put on those flyers? Should we show young families? Are they like more, and really looking at the clients and analyzing and doing research, you will find out and break down that make a primary, secondary, and break it down to not just one. It's not target audience. It doesn't have to be one group of people. It can be broken down to a couple of them.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Any other questions for Dina? I guess I would ask Dina too, you know, we're talking about target audience. When do you advise people that they have a good feel for who their target audience is? Because I feel like you could keep going through data and doing customer interview after customer interview after customer interview. Like let's say for a bakery, when do you know that you kind of have a good feel for who you should be speaking to?
When do I know I have a good feel? When I see the results of my ads, when I see, for example, I am a bakery, and I know the target audience are people that love traveling and love arts and show visuals that appeal to that group of people, and see the numbers on that visual that attracts this type of people. I see the numbers and analyze it, that, oh yeah, I am right. You know, it's a trial. You try and see, and with that attraction and number analysis, you see, you have a good feel. And it's an ongoing process of not just like you're talking to your clients, you're analyzing who comes to you, most probably buys from you. You're analyzing your numbers on advertising. You're analyzing who your followers are on your social media, what they're talking about, their interests, and all of those things, and really making a list, have a sheet of paper. Oh, that's the number, that's the age group. I noticed that. So it's kind of like ongoing process until you really like, you nailed it in this one. So, but I would say put an avatar. Her name is, you know, Sarah, and she has that much like that age group. And you really like, you've seen a lot of Sarah, and you know when you're doing ongoing, like dealing with those clients, you know that target audience.
Anybody else? We have just a few minutes left, and I want to be mindful of people's time.
Yeah.
I will say too, if you're listening and you're like,
Sports can give you the, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We, at Collider, we're actually running a Basics of Entrepreneurship course that'll start July 6th. Very timely for this discussion, wasn't on purpose, but we go through a lot of what Dina was talking about, avatars. There's a lot of different names for them. We call them customer personas, but you know, we'll walk you through that over, it's 8 weeks, and you get a group of other kind of entrepreneurs to walk through it too. So I would recommend that if you're sitting here and like, I really don't know who my target audience is. This is what that whole focus of that 8 weeks is really diving in, talking with people, walking you through how to do that. So I would recommend that, and I can drop that link in the show note, or not in the show notes, in the chat. Again, you can tell we do a lot of podcasts, too much show notes talk. But yeah, otherwise, any final questions for Dina? She's left you with her contact information. We're recording this. We will email it out to all of you whenever the recording is edited. And yeah, I think this was a wonderful talk. I've learned so much, wrote pages of notes. So thank you so much, Dina, for sharing lessons learned and communicating promise, not products, right?
Thank you so much for your time. And I've been like thinking, how can I, in 1 hour, display everything that I've learned from businesses? If anybody has questions, feel free to email me. I'd love to help.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone, for spending some time with us today, and enjoy the rest of the beautiful afternoon.